Everyone, and welcome back. So today we are reacting to somebody that has been requested a couple of times, and so I thought I'd give them a try because apparently with this person they specifically outline their way of finding the answers, and many of you will know if you watch my other videos that I'm trying my best to get better and better and better, and slowly I am getting there. So let's see. We're going to be watching Topotic. I think I've said that right. I apologise if not. And we're going to check them out and see just how good they are and whether we can learn a few things.
I chose my country, Spain, and I chose the intersection guesser map.
Okay, so straight off, he's doing a perfect score in Spain. Now, maybe this is something I should do. Obviously, I've started doing a UK map as well, and I do relatively well on that, although I did go slightly wrong with Northern Ireland once. But if people would like to see me do a perfect score, it might take me a while. Let's see if I can actually do a perfect score in my own country, because that may not be as easy as you'd think. But yeah, this is a perfect score. So this guy's from Spain. But speaking in English, so I can understand it. Thankfully, I never learnt Spanish at school, unfortunately. So
because it's really easy with clues to pinpoint. So enjoy watching my best attempt of this.
I like this intro. Okay.
It all started in a small town. The first step was to check the street names, and they were Calle Juan Bautista Humet and Avenida Pintor Tarrazo.
Can I just say, for what it's worth, from first seeing this, I would probably say we were in Spain. And I know someone's going to go, yeah, well, obviously we're in Spain. Yeah, my point is, I'm still trying to learn, and I'm not that great at things. Even though I know we're obviously in Spain, I actually would have recognised this as Spain, which I'm pleased with myself for.
I went north to leave the town and find its name.
Oh,
It was Navarrese, and the sign was specific to the Valencian region.
That's fucking genius. What? What the fuck? Like, if you know the country you're in and you want to get really near, that seems like such an obvious thing to do. That's so stupid. Why have I never thought about that? You just leave this, because even if you're not, because actually you don't even need to know the country. That might give you the country because you might recognise the place name once you. No one's ever suggested that before. How have I not thought about that? If you leave, as long as you can figure out which way's out of the town, you find out the name of the. Yeah.
That sign had the road name on top, which I tried to read on blurred, and I couldn't do that, so I had to look on the one on the other side.
I'm so glad an actual Spaniard is pronouncing these though, because
580, which probably meant we were in the middle, and the lack of Valencian language meant we were probably inland.
Right.
There
Fair.
I found Navarrese.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. That is so cool. I like that.
And Bautista Humet was right there.
Damn.
Round 2 sent us to what looked like a service road. I found an exit towards La Pobla Tornesa, which again sounded like a Valencian or Catalan village.
See, I wonder, because that could obviously help in England as well, because I know that when the UK specifically, because if I was to do this and try and do a perfect one in the UK, there's going to be things that are obviously sound Scottish, sound Welsh, sound Irish, sound Cornish and Southwestern, or even in like areas and counties such as Hertfordshire, they're very much of they're anglicised Middle Eastern names. A lot of the places in Hertfordshire, so that would give me an idea there. And I've never really thought about that on my own map. Now, again, this is only for your own country specifically, but it's a good idea for that geoguessr because, again, if you've travelled like I have, and you can understand slight differences for different places, it's a very good idea. I like that.
In the exit, I found out that it was exit number 30 of road CV10, which I knew was around Castellón.
See, this is where I have a disadvantage. I don't drive. I've never driven. I got a car when I was 17, 18. It got stolen 4 days after I had it, and I never learned to drive. So I think this may be where I have a slight disadvantage in that I wouldn't recognise the roads as easily because I will have never have driven them ever. So yeah, that would be a big disadvantage because I get everywhere by running, walking, cycling, and then public transport. So I have a disadvantage there, but it's still interesting.
which was also on the sign. I had all the info I needed, so I went in and found La Pobla Tornesa. It, however, took me a bit to find where were we exactly, but I figured out that we are west of the motorway,
He's doing this in 5 minutes, so
and
taking
there
him a
was a
bit is
path
still not
there to
long.
the north that fitted.
10,000
In round
perfect scores
3,
so
I
far.
first tried to find an area code, but that number was mobile. But fortunately, I found this.
Right, I'm going to put this one out there. So I know area codes to a point for like I know where I originally grew up in West Sussex. It's 01444 um, as the area code for phone numbers, but that's only in a very specific area of West Sussex that I originally went from. And I know that there's certain areas that have different ones, but like there's so many in England. I'm wondering, are there as many in places like Spain? I have no idea, or other countries, or is it far more kind of spread out? Because an area code can change for phone numbers 5 miles down the road.
Assigned towards North Leganés district, Leganés being a town south of Madrid. We had an overhead rail crossing which made pinpointing not too
I wonder
difficult. I
how
went
well
in
travelled this guy is in his own
and
country.
found North Leganés, and now it was time to find the correct roundabout.
See, that would take me ages figuring out the right roundabouts
On
and
the
things like
other
that.
side, I found Parque Sur, which is a shopping mall I've been to and should have noticed faster.
Got to give the guy props there because you'll find with a lot of geoguessr people, especially with Rainbow and things like that, they don't necessarily show you the mistakes. Well, not the mistakes. They don't show you where they're going to go. Oh God, I could have done that if I'd just seen this. And it's really cool that he's going. You know what? If I'd just seen that, that would have been so much easier. It is nice because obviously I'm a noob. I'm a complete newbie at these. With geoguessr, I'm well travelled, but a geoguessr, I'm a proper newbie. My most recent video, I think I had quite a good increase in my ability and had a couple of people mention it, so thank you for that. But yeah, it's quite demoralising when people just go boom, 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 like Rainbow.
And that one was the only roundabout that correlated.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fair. I
Okay,
love the
this time we
specifics.
were again in a small town or village, but on this occasion in the south of Spain. We had a big church east which
How
could
did
help
you
with pinpointing.
How did you know it was in the south of Spain? See, I'd go, yeah, that's probably Spain, but I wouldn't. I suppose actually the colouring is maybe a little bit southern, but yeah.
But I still tried to find the street name just in case, and it was Nuestra Señora de la Soledad. And
I'm
then I
so glad he's
attempted
saying
the
the names
same
because I would have
strategy as in
absolutely
round 1,
no
trying
idea.
to leave the village.
Still can't believe I've never thought about this before. Just leave the village and find out the name. It'll
The
be there.
town name was Aceuchal, and there was a wine cellar with a Guadiana Valley certificate, and this meant we were in Extremadura in the Badajoz
That's
province.
cool. Gives you an idea of where you are. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea because a lot of the places in the UK, for instance, again, I'm just saying for the UK, on the sign, not everywhere, but a lot of the places on the sign, especially in villages and small towns, will have the county like coat of arms for the county. Now, not every county in the UK actually has a coat of arms. For instance, West Sussex and East Sussex don't have their own coat of arms because they're an ancient. They were once linked as an ancient county together, and so that's carried forward, so that you can't separate them as easily. But there's a lot of other places that still do. Middlesex, for instance, doesn't exist anymore. People think it does, but Middlesex, you'd be able to really pinpoint an area of London because historically that was a county. It's now been taken over, but they would have that on their town places that give you exactly where it is. So it's an interesting one to do. I've never thought about that one before.
I maybe wasted a lot of time trying to find it until I noticed.
Man, you're getting like top points. You're not wasting any goddamn time. Good on you. I like this. I like this as a kind of a tutorial as well. This may not be as high energy for people as I maybe am on these
when
reacts
I found
always.
It, I easily found the church and the street.
That's a good thing because there's going to be churches in places like France and Spain. There's going to be a lot of churches that you can identify quite easily.
But I still double checked and got it right.
Nice. Does make
Finally, the last round dropped me in a commercial area between a Shell petrol station and a roundabout.
Nice.
I read that sign and I knew that Wales was close to Tarragona, but knowing that I was good on time, I tried to find a road number which would make pinpointing a simpler task.
I love the fact that there's so much road signs, so many road signs, sorry. I don't know if there's as many road signs in the UK. There probably is. Or in some places, in some, some cities, some towns, some countries, the road signs aren't as much. You have a lot of road signs in places like in Hungary, in France, in Germany, certainly in the Netherlands you do, but then you wouldn't necessarily have as many when you step out of that area a little bit. Bulgaria doesn't have as many road signs, for instance. Generally, I think when you step outside into the more rural areas, because they're far more kind of vast in their space kind of in between cities. So that's an interesting one for when you're doing it. But this, I liked it. I like this guy. I like it.
And besides the T310 road number, I also encountered a sign towards Ruidoms, the village we were leaving, and this gave me enough information to scan the map.
Damn.
There I found the road and the Shell station was easy to spot.
Dude. Ah.
I went back to start to...
Like, that's a level of fucking accuracy that I could only dream of. My man's moved the fucking thing like, I don't know, 20 meters, if that, down the road. I'd be like, you know what? I'm in the right town. I'm happy.
Confirm that we are closer to the roundabout.
That's just cool.
And that was it.
View summary. Look at that. That is him doing it in 5 minutes. Look at that. That is spot the fuck on. The idea that I could ever have a map that looks like that, dear God, I would die for it. There's a slightly different reacts there today, guys. Not quite as normal. I'm a lot more animated a lot of the time, wondering how the hell someone's done it. I really appreciate it. I think it's awesome when geoguessr people actually go, you know what? Let me show you. Again, a lot of his knowledge, he had very, very, very good knowledge of his own country there, which not everyone's going to have of their own country. So I think that really helped him as a starter. So I think obviously it's still not, you can't just go, oh, well, it's there. Because I think knowledge of the country is definitely needed. I have a decent knowledge of my country. I've lived in, 7 of the 48 counties of the UK. Which anyone out there in the US, whatever, that's similar to a state like 50 states of America, 48 counties of the UK. But I don't know if I have maybe as much when it comes to, say, up north or the southwest. Maybe a bit harder. The big one for me is I do not drive. Does anyone have, if you're still watching, does anyone have like a shortcut as to figuring out the roads? Is it just I have to learn them, or is there an easy shortcut to figuring out the roads in specific countries, or is there anything else I need to know? Is there a way of figuring it out? Do go and check out Topotic. I really enjoyed this. I've just randomly grabbed this because it was a nice little kind of headline for his video that he did a perfect score in 5 minutes. Thought, hey, why not? But do go and check him out. Give a follow, give a subscribe, go and like some of his stuff. Really appreciate doing some kind of tutorial there. And I will be back to it, seeing if I can figure it out. And I may even try and do this. I think I'm going to try and do a perfect score in the UK. This may be long. See you next time.